So greeting to dear audience and also to doctor. So today I and my friends would like to present our code which is GQS0025 Science, Technology and Sustainable Development course, which is our first assignment presentation. The title is The Role of Citizen Science in Environmental Sustainable. Next slide. So this is our group members. So I'd like to start out my name, which is NARMITHA, daughter of JAYAGOPAL. My metric number is 24005719. Nabil?
Hello everyone, my name is TONGXIN.
And my name is NABILL ROZAIN.
My name is ALEEYA binti RAZI.
Hello, my name is Ahmad IZZAT bin FAUZI.
Next slide. So dear audience, I am like to present my introduction part, which is what is the citizen science. So I would like to start with this reference based on the overall article. What I have to come up with this topic is that reference to the public participation in the scientific research. So what I say is that often through the data collection and analysis, we have to look out this citizen science, which is the importance too. So what is the importance we have collected is that bridge data gaps in the environmental monitoring. Second, empower citizens by involving them in the scientific and also policy making processes. And the third important point is that encouraging the local action to address the global challenges. So why I say this introduction is most important to present to their audience is that first of all, we need to understand what is the citizen science. And the second is what is the significance of this citizen science before we move on to the next slide. So, yes. So the article 1 I like to present is that the title, which is Channels of Collaboration for Citizen Science and the Sustainable Development Goals. So from this, we have to start out many of the points, which is the first, Citizen Science and Sustainable Development Goals, which is SDG goals. So the first point I'd like to come from this main topic is that alignment with SDG goals, which is citizen science allegates with United Nations Agenda 2030 through participation, education, and also sustainable practices. So why I say this point is that they have two key contributions, which is first to promote social cohesion and global citizenship. Second is encourages non-state actor participation in SDG implementation, and also as well as I have bring up the challenges, which is accountability, data accuracy, and limited institutional support in some regions, which is especially in developing countries. So overall, I would like to present a next slide. So the second point I like to come out from this article 1 is that collaboration of channels of citizen science for SDG. So what is the key point I like to present is that first, representation in multi-stakeholder partnership. So what is the representation is that first, national and international platform for SDG implementation. And the second one is that addressing the specific SDG goals, which is tackling the themes like climate change, education, and also health through focusing the projects. So the third point from this main topic is that policy integration. So what is policy integration is that incorporating citizen science findings into policy cycles for evidence, basic, and also decision making. So the next one I would like to present is that education. So what is focusing education is that by enhancing the public understanding and also competency alleged with SDG goals. So the last point I would like to focus in this main topic is that data provision. So data provision is that complementing traditional data, which is from data source with citizens generating data for monitoring and also reporting about them. So next slide. So lastly, I'd like to present from my part is that the impactful examples. So what is the impactful example points is that first, environmental monitoring. So what is environmental monitoring impact is that we use the citizen science for biodiversity tackling and also climate change mitigation. So for example, we come out is from mapping invasive species. So the second point is that education and also awareness. So why we say education and awareness is one of the impactful example is that leveraging the citizen science in school to foster sustainability consciousness. So the third point is that policy influences. So policy influences is that involving the citizens in policy consultants and also public workshop for inclusive governance. So overall, I would like to I have come out the three important points. So next, Nabil.
Okay, thank you, Namita, for the points given. So now I would like to continue what Namita said, which is the challenges in citizen science in SDG integration. So first of all, we have barriers. There are a lot. There are three types of barriers mainly, which is the first one is institutional resistance. It means that by the limited participation in governance structure. Then we have data issues. The data issues itself concerns about reliability, ownership, and scalability. And then we have awareness, yes, which is it mentions better alignment for citizen science activities with SDG goals is needed. Okay, so I have recommended several solutions and recommendations to way forward, which is the first one is develop standardized protocols for citizen science data and increase funding and support from governments and international organizations so that the citizen science data will be produced much quicker and more reliability. Okay, so the recommendations for and way forward for this citizen science and the sustainable development goals is the first one is we need to enhancing collaboration, such as strengthen the multi-stakeholder partnerships and integrate citizen science networks into the national SDG frameworks. Then we need boosting recognition, ensure that the citizen science data is acknowledged in official SDG monitoring and reporting systems. And last but not least, fostering innovation, which is we need encourage technological solutions to enhance citizen science contribution. So, regarding Article 2, which is Continental concerns in marine debris revealed by the decade of citizen science. So, marine debris is one of the persistent and anthropogenic materials in ocean, pose ecological and socio-economic risk. Then, the role, the citizen science role in this marine debris is the citizen science bridges data gaps in monitoring marine debris with large-scale long-term database like the Australian Marine Debris Initiative, which is AMDI or AMDI. And its significance is much higher, which is it empowers communities while addressing data limitation in formal scientific monitoring. As you can see the figure 3 here, they have two chart here, which is A and B. The first one is number of volunteers per year, which is we can see that in 2017 is the highest number of volunteer, which is mostly made up from NGO and school governments. And then there are a lot of businessmen and businesswomen also participated in this volunteering group. As well as B, we can see that the highest is 2016 when the number of climate event is highest among the years from 2009 to 2019. So now I will pass over to IZZAT for further explanation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nabil. So I'll continue with the Australian Marine Debris Initiative. So the Australian Marine Debris Initiative, or AMDI, is Australia's largest database, which has analyzed over 10 years of marine debris data across 852 coastal sites. As for its filtering process, it uses 5 systematic filtering stages that addresses data quality and ensures focus on ocean-facing sandy beaches. Now, here's where the citizen science part comes in. The AMDI takes contributions from NGOs, schools, governments, and individuals, which enhances AMDI's spatial and temporal resolution. As we can see on the figure 4, it's a number. Those are the numbers of the citizen science NGO organizations, schools, and governments which has taken part in AMDI's research. So next slide. So, what are the findings on marine debris patterns? Firstly, material composition. In marine debris, plastics dominated, constituting 84% of total debris, with hot plastics 58% most prevalent. For the sources, 48% of the debris was land-based, littering and illegal dumping, 7% of which originated from at-sea sources. As for regional variations, there are high accumulation near urban areas and population centers, and certain hotspots identified on the East Coast. As you can see on the pie chart, as the composition of the total debris and the total debris, which are the hard plastics. Okay, so next slide. So what does this mean for the research? Firstly, citizen science impact on management. It supports evidence-based policy making for marine debris reduction. It also highlights regional debris accumulation patterns critical for targeted interventions. This makes the AMDI's job and cleanup efforts much easier. But citizen science itself is not a perfect system. Some of the challenges are data accuracy concerns, since the volunteer variability and certain site biases skewer certain results. And there is a tendency of underrepresentation of certain debris types due to visibility and accessibility by the volunteers. So, to address these issues, what are the recommendations and future directions for citizen science? Firstly, data quality has to be improved. By using systematic filtering, it could enhance reliability for management applications. Secondly, policy integration. We must utilize findings to inform waste management policies and community cleanup efforts. And finally, scaling efforts. Citizen science initiatives must be expanded globally for robust datasets and international comparability. So, I'll pass on to TONGXIN. Next.
Okay, thank you, IZZAT. Hello, everyone. Now I'll be presenting findings from Article 3, titled Success Factors for Citizen Science Project in Water Quality Monitoring. First, the global data gap. Freshwater quality monitoring faces severe data shortages, particularly in less developed countries where resources and expertise are often lacking. Second, citizen science. This is an inclusive approach that engages ordinary citizens in data collection and analysis. By involving communities, this initiative directly contributes to Sustainable Development Goal 6.3.2, which emphasizes improving water quality. Finally, the purpose of this study is to systematically identify factors that influence the success of citizen science projects in water quality monitoring. The research emphasizes the need to bridge the global data gap through public participation while ensuring high-quality data for scientific and policymaking purposes. Next slide. Next, let's delve into the processes and mechanisms that drive successful citizen science projects. The first key factor is supporting structures. Clear admission rules and training programs ensure that volunteers collect high-quality data. Technology such as apps and websites is leveraged for effective data management. Standard protocols are used to maintain consistency across diverse participants and locations. The second factor is communication and feedback. Continuous interaction between citizens and institutions fosters collaboration and accountability. Feedback loops motivate participants to refine their methods and sustain engagement. Sharing scientific findings enhances trust and builds long-term partnerships between communities and researchers. These processes not only ensure reliable data but also promote a sense of ownership and pride among participants. Okay, next slide. Lastly, let's explore the challenges and opportunities in citizen science projects. First, challenges. Data quality may vary due to the diverse skill levels of participants. Funding constraints can limit the sustainability and scalability of projects. Regional disparities in participation and outcomes may hinder equitable representation. On the other hand, opportunities abound. First, technology can simplify citizen participation, making data collection more accessible. Integrating citizen-contributed data into policymaking can lead to better environmental management. These projects also enhance public environmental awareness and improve science literacy, empowering communities to become active stakeholders in water quality conservation. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I will continue with Article 3 for implication recommendation. Hi, my name is ALEEYA BINTI RAZI. So the practical implication of the analysis that we've made from Article 3 is that we found that citizen science can complement traditional data collection in addressing the global water quality gap and also offer social political benefits like increased awareness and community engagement about the projects that is being made. Some of the recommendation is we could tailor training and support to participants' needs, establishing standardized data validation processes to ensure that the data is much more valid, and we promote multi-stakeholder collaboration to scale efforts globally. Next slide. Now I will continue with the critical analysis of each article. So we start with the first article, which is the channels of collaboration for citizen science and the sustainable development goals. I will elaborate on three parts, which is the advantages, weaknesses, and impacts of each article. So the advantages of the first article is it shows an outline that connects global objective SDGs with citizen science. It focuses on partnership and collaboration platforms and also paid attention to creative educational and social advantages. But the weaknesses of this is it theoretically focuses with a reference to case study or reality. It avoids operational issues like volunteer training and funding, and it also lack of attention paid to cultural or geographical differences in contribution. The impacts of this are it provide an approach to strategy for citizen science initiative across the world. Instead, more specific education methods are needed. Next slide for Article 2. Article 2 is about continental patterns in marine debris revealed by a decade of citizen science. The advantages of this analysis is its strong results are guaranteed by the large data set, which spans 10 years, and it analyzed 7,275 incidents, and it demonstrates how important data gaps in the monitoring of marine trash are filled by citizen research, and the evidence-based waste management policies are informed by the data. The weaknesses of this analysis is that the possible bias in the sample because of location accessibilities and volunteer availability could happen, and it restricts worldwide effectiveness by concentrating just on Australian beaches. And the lack of investigation on the impact of results on long-term policy modification could also affect the analysis. So the impacts of this are it demonstrates how citizen research can scale huge data set, but for global application, results need to be modified to cater for foreign areas. Next slide. For the third article, we talk about success factors for citizen science projects and water quality monitoring. The advantages is it identifies the essential success characteristic for a well-designed project. Useful advice on auxiliary frameworks like communication and training could also pose a big advantage on this analysis, and it indicates the advantages of citizen participation from a socio-political perspective. The weaknesses, however, it restricted scope which only concentrate on water quality initiative, and the lack of consideration of the differences in success determinants between sectors or areas. Mostly depends on reviews of the literature without much proof. The impact of this article is beneficial for enhancing citizen to lead water quality projects, but it should be expanded to other environmental areas. Next.
So thank you, Alia. So I'd like to present my part, which is as a from these three articles, they have a summarize of the critical analysis based on the three articles. So first, I would like to say about the strength. So what we can come out from these three articles is that first, Article 1, that emphasizes the SDG elements and also policy integration, which is providing the strategy framework for collaboration. And the second article is that we can see the strength, which is showcases the power of citizen science, which is marine debris monitoring the large and also long-term data set. And the third article, we can see the strength is that highlights the success factor required for the effective water quality projects, which is offering the practical recommendation. And then lastly, I would like to come out with the weakness of this first, second, and third article is that the first article is largely theoretical and also have the lack real world examples. So the second article, we can see the weakness is that focusing only the Australian beaches, which is limited the global applicable. So the third article we can see is that narrowly scoped and also concentrating on the water quality only. So as overall, we can say that these articles demonstrate how citizen science can address the diverse environmental issues, which is highlighting the areas from improvement such as skills and also operational supports. So this is the analysis shows us the immense of the potential science, citizen science when allied with the sustainable goals. So that's all from our members and from me. Thank you.